Folks, President Trump ran his 2024 campaign on making major changes to our immigration system in the United States, from mass deportation of illegal immigrants to ending birthright citizenship. And we are seeing the real world effects of President Trump's actions and his threats. Customs and Border Patrol is seeing the lowest number of border encounters that they have seen in 60 years, according to a recently leaked internal memo from Customs and Border Patrol. But before we get into that, a little self-promotion. Drop down below, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel here. Make sure you never miss another video from us again in the future. And if you like the content we're putting out, smash that like button. It really helps us reach more and more people. Now, in the month of February, according to a leaked internal memo from the CPB, they estimate that they made roughly they encountered roughly 300 migrants per day that were trying to enter into the United States via the southern border. Now, to put that in perspective, that's down about 90% from where it was last February. Last February, we are down 90% since then. Absolutely astonishing what's happened here. Now, for reference, there were so this is daily average illegal border crossings, their encounters that they had. So I guess you can't say crossings. These are just the encounters that they had with Customs and Border Patrol. Obviously, there are some people that get across. We just assume that, some people get crossed without making contact with Customs and Border Patrol. But 2021, 5,333 average daily encounters. Went up to 6,400 in 2022, down to 5,500, and then made a big drop in 2024, down to 2,800 when the Biden administration finally decided to make a few adjustments, basically where if the number went above 5,000 of daily encounters, they started to really clamp down on stuff. But it's not because they wanted to. It was only because of the election. They don't give a rip. They were just doing it because they didn't want to lose the next election. But we know this is just the number of people they encounter. We all assume that there are many people who get through undetected. Now, if this continues at this rate now, this number was, I believe, as of February 11th was the number. So there was averaging 359 people per day as of February 11th. Now, if this continues at this rate, by the end of the year, we could be looking at the lowest number of border encounters that we have seen since 1968. Remember, 1968 was the year Richard Nixon was elected president. He hadn't even gone through Watergate yet. That's how far back you have to go. And the last time, so if you do about 359 a day, you're right around 10,000 a month. Now, the last time we were below 10,000 in a month as far as monthly illegal border crossings or encounters was 1999 under Bill Clinton. But in 2017, April of 2017, we came very, very close to that. Just months after Trump was elected, they came in right around 11,000, just below 11,000 encounters in April of 2017. So not only is this a return to normalcy, this is even better. This is a return to the Trump administration plus some. Now, so far, there have been, President Trump has campaigned on it, and he is determined to deport as many illegal immigrants in the country as possible. So far, about 3 weeks into the administration, now this was as of 3 weeks into the administration, there were about 11,000 arrests by Immigration Custom Enforcement. President Trump has made it his priority of deporting as many criminal illegals as possible. And so far, out of those 11,000 arrests that have been made, now that was by about mid-February, but these people are people with criminal records or people with deportation orders. They've already gone through the asylum process. They have said, nope, a federal judge has saw their case and said, nope, you need to go back to your country. That's what's happening to these people. Some of the most violent people, though, are being held at Guantanamo Bay. Trump made big plans. They are going to be using the prison at Guantanamo Bay, initially used for terrorists after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. This is where they would this is where they would hold those terrorists. And about a week or so ago, they received their first deportation flight of migrants that are going to be held there until they can be deported back to their home country. Now, remember, there's a lot of people on the right who are not satisfied enough yet of the number of arrests, the number of deportations. They're not satisfied yet. But remember, take a couple steps back. We are in a battleship here. The United States is a giant battleship, and President Trump has to turn that battleship. For 4 years, we were going in one direction. President Trump not only has to stop us from going in that direction, but he then has to turn the entire ship and go in the exact opposite direction. It can take a long time. And if you want to get serious about this, and this is not serious about deportations, but how much space is actually needed for a battleship or a cargo ship, like a larger size cargo ship to actually turn, it can take up to 1 mile for a ship to turn 90 degrees. So let's just put that in perspective. You're in your car, it takes you 2 or 3 seconds to make a turn? In one of these big ships, it takes 3 or 4 minutes to take a 90-degree turn. So just keep that in mind. Give President Trump some more time, because even if this isn't the level that you would like to see of arrests and deportations, it is 3 or 4 times more than what it was under the Biden administration. Things are tenfold better at this point. Yes, we're arresting 3 or 4 times as many people, deporting 3 or 4 times more people, but our policymakers are moving in the right direction, and that's why it is tenfold better from what we were under the Biden administration. So we have to be happy about this. We at least have to understand that President Trump is doing what he needs to do to implement this. Things don't happen overnight, because eventually we're going to be very, very happy, because this is going to be a well-oiled machine. Because right now, we're an old, broken-down machine that hasn't been turned on for years, and we're trying to start it up. Your car's been sitting in your garage for a year, hasn't moved. Now you're going out there trying to start it up. Be lucky if you can even get it started up. Let it sit there and warm up for a little bit. Let the engine run. Let it get lubricated. This will be a well-oiled machine within the next year. I have no doubt in my mind. Trump has put in all the right processes in place, getting the ball rolling on certain things to make sure that this will be a well-oiled machine of protecting Americans, because that's ultimately what this is about. It is about protecting Americans from criminal illegals. End of discussion. Whether it's from criminal actions, whether it's they're coming in and they are undercutting American workers on the wages they're willing to accept. But here's the thing. President Trump's policies work, and he has been able to secure the border at this point. Everything we are seeing is a direct response of the election of President Donald J. Trump on November 5th, 2024. These are issues that are caused not by incompetence. Let me take a step back. These issues that we have, mass migration into the country, illegal migration, criminals running free throughout our country, this was not done by incompetence. Democrats were not incompetent when they did this. But the Democrat Party tried to allow millions and millions and millions and even tens of millions of illegal migrants to come into the country illegally, give them temporary protected status, and then they try and give them amnesty. Because before Biden lost re-election, or Kamala Harris lost the election, they tried to pass this kind of border bill, which they say would have solved all the issues. We're gonna create all these issues and then wait 3.5 years to address it. But in that package, it would have provided amnesty for all illegal immigrants that were in the country. Totally not okay. Any Democrat, here's a little talking point. If there's any Democrat out there who says, hey, President Trump, no. President Trump doesn't care about immigration, because if he did, he wouldn't have shot down the border bill that had bipartisan support in the House and the Senate. We're not really in the business of giving amnesty to tens of millions of illegal migrants, because we all know it is a part of the Democrats' plan to make America a permanent left-wing, I hate to say this, a permanent left-wing shithole. That's what they want through mass migration. They want to turn America into what's going on they want to turn America into California. Look at what's going on in California. It's terrible, and they want to do it through mass illegal migration into the country, pass a bill, give them all amnesty, Democrat voters for the rest of the time they're here. And President Trump, thank God, take a moment of silence, pray. Let's just take a moment of silence for what, not only what President Trump is doing, but for all the bullcrap that President Trump stopped. It is absolutely amazing what he's done. He has stepped in, stopped this from happening at this point. He ended catch and release. We are not going to be releasing illegal immigrants into the country. We deployed troops to the United States southern border to protect it. Very popular. And granted, all of these things that are going on, with the exception of Guantanamo Bay, has 60+% approval. Guantanamo Bay is about 50-50. Some people, it's about 50-50 if people think it should be used for deportations or not. But all of the rest of Trump's immigration policies, 60+% approval. You know, this is why President Trump is winning, because he is hitting on the issues, the 40-60, the 70-30, and the 80-20 issues that exist in America that Democrats have so badly messed up. He's going in and fixing these big, bold initiatives he's moving forward with. Deploying troops to our southern border, very popular with the American people. Also, let's just take a moment to look at Trump's tariff policies. President Trump, as you all know, I'm sure, got into a little spat with Canada and Mexico and had slapped 25% tariffs on both countries. Then they were able to come to a negotiation. So here's the deal. President Trump does not like that Mexico allows so many illegal migrants to get into the country. He doesn't like that Canada does the same thing. He doesn't like that fentanyl from China comes through Canada and Mexico. He feels they should be doing more. So what does he do? He uses the leverage that he has at his disposal. President Trump, through the threat of tariffs and actually implementing them, but then put a pause on them, was able to get Mexico and Canada to deploy 10,000 troops to each respective border with the United States to prevent mass illegal migration into the United States to stop the flow of fentanyl. He got over $1 billion from Canada to invest in border security with the United States. People are Trump's going to destroy the world with his tariffs. You know what Trump's tariff policy is right now? It's basically, hey, if you're ripping the United States off, if you're screwing America over, we're going to put a tariff on you. You're going to pay this tax. It's going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt us. And then when you decide to play ball, you want to be fair and actually treat America with respect, treat America like the superpower we are, then we can talk about free trade. He also, in this process, has basically said, look, if there's another country that's that has a, like for example, Canada has a 250% tariff on dairy products from America. We're going to use reciprocal tariffs. Whatever they tax us, we're going to tax them, which goes both ways. Higher tariffs and lower tariffs. If the country decides to lower their tariffs, America will follow suit and lower their tariffs as well. That's the reality of the situation. President Trump's tariff policies, his trade policies, are absolutely making America great again. Absolutely. Don't listen to these radical left-wing lunatics who want all of our beautiful manufacturing jobs to be shipped overseas to the cheapest labor market they can possibly find. They want to sell your jobs, give them to overseas workers. That's what they want. They want to gut America from the inside out. They want to gut America from the middle class out. Don't listen to these failed These same Democrats who are whining about what Trump is doing are the same people who supported NAFTA back in the 1990s that shipped manufacturing jobs overseas. It absolutely ripped apart middle America. So don't listen to those globalist radicals who, we want free trade, but we're the United States of America and we're not going to get ripped off in the process. You're not going to treat us badly. That's what's going to happen. But back to immigration. The thing is that these Border Patrol agents who have been on the job for years and years and probably decades for a lot of them, they know how to do their jobs. They know what needs to be done to secure our border. Leadership knows what they need to do to secure the border. And it is finally, it is just a wonderful thing that the administration has the backs of these Border Patrol agents and is allowing them to do their jobs. This is going to make our country much, much safer to live in because people who come here legally should not be disrespected by allowing people who come here illegally, cutting in line to get all the benefits of the people who cheated the system. And then spending, when we have an immigrant come here, we want them to be self-sufficient. We don't want them to come here and get on our welfare programs. But what are we doing? We're shipping migrants in and then spending tens and even hundreds of billions of dollars on illegal immigrants once they get here after they cheated the system. It is just ridiculous, but President Trump is doing the right thing. Praise, whatever, the Trump administration, they deserve a lot of praise for what they are doing so far with immigration and with trade. So, folks, that's going to wrap things up for today. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and until next time.